In the heart of the ancient village of Okero, where the air was thick with the scent of fresh palm wine and the sound of drum beats echoed through the hills, there lived two best friends, Ade and Kwame. From the time they were boys, Ade and Kwame had been inseparable. They played together, went to school together, and even dreamt of the future as one. If you saw Ade, you saw Kwame. Their bond was like the roots of the mighty bamboo tree, strong, deep, and unbreakable. Ade was the firstborn son of a wealthy cocoa farmer, while Kwame was the son of a fisherman. Despite their different backgrounds, they were raised in the spirit of unity and brotherhood. As the years passed, their friendship only deepened. They shared everything, their joys, their sorrows, and even their most personal thoughts. Their friendship became a model in the village, a shining example of loyalty and trust. As they grew older, Ade and Kwame became successful in their own ways. Ade, following in his father's footsteps, took over the family cocoa business and expanded it. He became a respected figure in Okero, known for his wisdom and generosity. Kwame, on the other hand, worked hard as a trader, buying and selling goods from distant lands, and eventually he too became wealthy. Both men married beautiful wives. Ade's wife, Amina, was a quiet and devout woman who helped him manage their household with grace and humility. She bore him 3 sons. Kwame's wife, Abina, was a vibrant and outgoing woman with a quick wit and a sharp tongue. She was known throughout the village for her beauty, and together they had 2 daughters. Despite their growing responsibilities, Ade and Kwame's friendship remained as strong as ever. They built houses next to each other and often had their families dine together. Their children grew up as cousins, playing under the wide shade of bamboo tree that lined their homestead. Life was good, and it seemed nothing could ever come between them. But as the old village saying goes, even the tallest tree can fall when its roots are rotten. It all began during the annual harvest festival. Okero was alive with celebration, colorful clothes, the scent of freshly cooked food, and the sounds of laughter filled the air. It was a time when families gathered to give thanks for the harvest and to dance late into the night. Ade and Kwame, as always, were at the center of the festival, their wives by their sides, laughing and enjoying the night. That night, something changed. Kwame had been drinking more than usual, his eyes on Amina, Ade's wife, longer than they should have. No one noticed, not even Ade, who was lost in conversation with the village elders. But Kwame's gaze was burning with something dangerous, a desire he could not control. Amina, unaware of the storm brewing, remained her usual warm and friendly self. She laughed at Kwame's jokes and danced with the other women as the night wore on. Over the following weeks, Kwame's mind became clouded. He could not stop thinking about Amina. His heart beat faster when he saw her, and his thoughts wandered into forbidden territory. Despite having a loving wife and family of his own, Kwame was consumed by the desire for what he could not have. One fateful afternoon, when Ade was away on a business trip to the neighboring village, Kwame visited Amina's house under the pretense of discussing a family matter. What began as a casual conversation quickly spiraled into something far more dangerous. The tension between them, which had been building silently, erupted. In a moment of weakness, Kwame seduced Amina, and the two made a terrible mistake. Days turned into weeks, and their secret affair continued. Kwame, now torn between guilt and desire, could not bring himself to end the affair. Amina too was conflicted. She loved her husband Ade, but found herself drawn to Kwame in ways she could not explain. The guilt weighed heavily on both of them, but they buried it deep, hoping no one would ever find out. However, secrets have a way of coming to light. Months later, Amina discovered she was pregnant, though Ade was unaware of the affair. Kwame knew instantly that the child was his. The weight of this realization crushed him. The guilt he had tried to suppress now consumed him fully, but it was too late to turn back. Amina, terrified of what this would mean for her marriage, confided in Kwame. "What do we do now? He will know it's not his," she whispered in panic one evening when Kwame visited her in secret. Kwame was silent for a long time before responding. "We tell no one. We carry this secret to our graves." The village soon began whispering about Amina's pregnancy. The timing didn't seem right. Ade had been away during the critical period when their baby was born. The resemblance to Kwame was unmistakable, though the villagers murmured. Ade dismissed their gossip. He trusted Kwame like a brother and believed in his wife's fidelity. But as the months passed, Ade began to notice small things, gestures between Kwame and Amina that seemed too familiar, too intimate. His suspicions grew. He tried to ignore the signs, but one evening, after overhearing a hushed conversation between Kwame and Amina, Ade's world shattered. He confronted Kwame, his voice shaking with rage. "How could you do this? You were my brother. How could you betray me in the worst possible way?" Kwame, unable to look Ade in the eyes, confessed everything. The shame and guilt had finally caught up with him. He knelt before Ade, begging for forgiveness, but the damage was done. Ade, in his fury, struck Kwame to the ground. "I welcomed you in my house, into my life, and this is how you repay me?" Ade shouted, his voice echoing through the night air. "You have taken everything from me." News of their affair spread quickly through Okero, and the village was thrown into an uproar. Ade, heartbroken and humiliated, sent Amina away. He could no longer look at her, nor could he forgive her betrayal. The child, though innocent, was a constant reminder of Kwame's treachery. Kwame's life crumbled. His wife, devastated by his betrayal, left him, taking their daughters with her. The villagers, once respectful of Kwame, now treated him with disdain, shunned by everyone, even those who had once called him a friend. Ade, though deeply wounded, found solace in his work and his children, but the pain of losing both his best friend and his wife in such a cruel manner lingered. He refused to rebuild the friendship, choosing instead to focus on his family and his cocoa business. Kwame, now a broken man, left Okero, disappearing into the distance like a shadow. He wandered aimlessly, living in isolation and regret, haunted by the memory of what he had lost. Years later, when Ade was an old man, he received word that Kwame had passed away in a distant village. There was no fanfare, no family to mourn him. He had died alone, a victim of his own reckless desires. Ade stood by the edge of the river one evening, watching the sunset over the hills of Okero. The memories of his youth, of his friendship with Kwame, flooded his mind. Despite everything, there was a deep sadness in his heart. Though Kwame had wronged him, the loss of their bond, their brotherhood, was a wound that never truly healed. And so, the story of Ade and Kwame became a cautionary tale in Okero, passed down from generation to generation. It was a tale of betrayal, the fragility of trust, and the ruin that comes when desire clouds judgment. It was a reminder that some mistakes, once made, can never be undone.